Shalom. I came to this GMS Wisconsin, and today we're going to do an installment of We're going to call this lesson Exploitation by Another Name, and we're going to start off with this video.
Yeah, because if you watch the video before this, Exploitation by Another Name, you already know what the other name is. Prostitution, what else they call it? Adultery, but really just prostitution. That's exploitation by another name. So we're going to get into this drug ring that they busted because, we stay here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I've been living here all my life since I was 7, moved from Illinois. And this is why we're putting this lesson together, because this hit close to home. And my son, he's 14 years old. So as you can see, the average age is what? 14 to 17?
Yeah, 13 to 17.
Yeah, 13 to 17. So let's see what this got.
Than average temperatures. We'll have more in your 6-day forecast coming up in about 12 minutes, but for now, that's your news and weather together. All right, thank you, Vince. It's called the Value Inn. Value is part of the name, but police say the deals going on inside this motel could land a couple of people in prison.
Police say they busted a prostitution ring there, and our Ben Halloman reports the motel owners are actually being credited for exploiting it.
I guess we noticed cars parking across the street and people walking over.
Ray Fisher runs a business that sees plenty of different kinds of clientele. As the manager of the Value Inn Motel in Kenosha, he says some of his recent guests stuck out.
We're just noticing what the girls look like. They're obviously not the regular customers.
Suspicious, the motel called Kenosha police. In the back row of rooms, police say they discovered a prostitution ring.
They came out like gangbusters on that one, and they missed the guy.
The accused pimp, 34-year-old Messiah Walker of Milwaukee, eluded police long enough to make Kenosha's most wanted list. He was recently caught, charged, and released on bail. Is there anything that you wanted to say?
Not a word.
A woman claiming to be his mother at his listed address said the family had no comment. One of the alleged prostitutes, Lakeisha McKenzie, also has been charged. According to a criminal complaint, Walker would post information on escort pages on the internet and have men meet women at the motel for prices between $80 and $100 an hour. The complaint says Walker would take half. Also found in one of the rooms, according to the complaint, a 14-month-old child that belonged to one of the women. Fisher says he's happy his staff was able to notice the problem. One he's not convinced is always obvious.
It's the business. It's, motel business. I'm sure it happens everywhere.
The general manager says in all of his years of running a motel, he's never had to deal with prostitution. If convicted, Walker could face up to 18 years in prison. In Kenosha, Ben Handelman, Fox 6 News.
All right, back to this whole Ryan Braun thing and the PED allegations.
Scandal.
We're talking about it. Now, the Brewers were playing today against Oakland.
Okay. So as you can see, this is close to home. And you see you got the two Judites exploiting more Judites and whatever they is. But as you can see from this film and the last film, who's all in the film? Israelites. So we're going to now go into basically how this came about. But we're going to start with, since this is the white man world and we under his laws and Jewish district, we're going to see what the scriptures got to say to him.
All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Right. Destruction unto them that make laws that's unrighteous. Like you can't discipline your kid. You can't hit your kid because that's child abuse. Which that's totally against the Bible. Making a man leave the house. That's totally against the Bible. But this is what the white man has set up under the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and DuPonts, and Giddys, and Bushes, and Cheneys, and Clintons, and Obamas. Go ahead.
And that right grievousness.
Right, they right grievous. They put it on legislative laws as I was growing up that our parents had to stop disciplining us. So that's why these kids are starting to become bad.
Which they have prescribed.
Okay, let me get the Micah 2 and 1. Old Testament.
Alright. Book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity
Right, destruction unto them that work wickedness.
and work evil upon their beds.
Right.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
Right. This talking about all your senators, your congressmen, your aldermen that write and prescribe these legislative laws that go through the Senate, the House, down to the committee, signed by the executive order president, made into law.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Right, to prescribe wickedness. That's Psalms. So because of that, you leaders are responsible for this wickedness that's going on in this country. The 149, 8, and 9.
Alright, this is the book of Psalms, chapter
149.
chapter 149, verse 9. Says to execute,
Start 8.
says to bind their kings with chains.
Right, so Psalms 149 and 8 says,
To bind their kings with chains.
right, so all the leaders going into slavery because of all this wickedness.
And their nobles with fetters of iron.
Exactly. Keep going.
To execute upon them the judgment written.
Right, what's the judgment written? Destruction unto y'all that decree unrighteous decrees. That's what that was talking about in Isaiah 10 and 1.
This honor hath all his saints.
Right, because this is all the honor of the saints. The saints are the Israelites. Who being exploited? The Israelites. Because y'all took our laws, statutes, and commandments. And we're going to show y'all this been a conspiracy from the beginning. Keep going.
Praise ye the Lord.
Right, praise ye the Lord. So let's go back and show them that this been from the beginning. Willie Lynch. Making of a slave. Show them the book. See that? That's why y'all blacks have to read. Willie Lynch letter and the making of a slave. As you can see, men and women. Okay. What page you on?
Page 16. The breaking process of the African woman.
Go ahead.
Says, frozen independent state, in this frozen psychological
You ain't
state
got to turn it to me no more.
of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles.
Right. So because they gave the woman the independence and pushed the man out the house, he said, thanks to your 1970 welfare and the so-called counselors that came to make sure the man was gone, that the woman will raise the males in reverse roles. Go ahead.
It says, for fear of the young male's life.
Right? Because she wanted the young male to be feminine and so forth, because she didn't watch him get killed and mangled and maimed all while she was being broke into being a slave.
She will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong.
Exactly. See, physically strong but mentally weak. That's why these men can't handle their kids and the woman in the household, because the woman is mentally strong. Go ahead.
Says continually, though the breaking of uncivilized savage niggers, by throwing the nigger female savage into a frozen psychological state of independency, by killing of the protective male image, by creating a submissive dependent mind.
Right, see that? So that's what they did to the male, and they did that through their manipulation and mind control and conditioning of your TVs, your network stations, your sports, in all forms of fashions. Go ahead.
Says creating a submissive dependent mind of the nigger male savage. We have created an orbiting cycle that turns in its own axis forever.
See that? So they said this gonna go on forever, and it has.
Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the positions of the female savages.
Right. Now the only phenomenon is these scriptures being given out to the people on what we doing today, and y'all taking heed to it. Supernatural. Go ahead.
Now this is page 19, the Negro marriage unit.
Okay.
Says the one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable.
Right, and that's what the women do. They always think they can negotiate. I don't need nobody talking for me. I can talk for myself. I'm grown.
We negotiate with her, through her, by her, and negotiate her at will.
See that? So the white man said we will negotiate with her, through her, and with her through all will. So the man has been excluded.
The one with the nigger male offspring, she being frozen with a subconscious fear for his life.
Right, because the masculine male has been destroyed, and she watched the white man destroy us on an everyday basis. So she afraid that her son gonna get the same treatment.